Listen, Never Ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
I'm caught up in the game. My attention is on every play and every whistle. But what I'm missing is a signal coming from my kidneys. That signal isn't like a ref's whistle. It's more of a silent SOS, which could be warning me of an increased risk for events like heart attack or stroke. And a way I can catch that signal? A simple urine test called UACR. If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, talk to your doctor about the UACR test. Detect the SOS. Visit detectthesos.com to learn more.
There's nothing like gaining a fresh perspective from experts who've seen it all and have the wisdom to prove it. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. With plans starting at $10 a month, billed annually, you get unlimited access to over 200 plus classes taught by the world's best business leaders, writers, chefs, and more. With Masterclass, you get thousands of bite-sized lessons across 13 categories that can fit into even the busiest of schedules. And the classes really make a difference. 3 in 4 surveyed members feel inspired every time they watch Masterclass. And 83% of surveyed members have applied something they've learned from Masterclass to their lives. Masterclass always has great offers during the holidays, sometimes up to as much as 50% off. Head over to masterclass.com/audio for the current offer. That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/audio. masterclass.com/audio.
Dal Maxvill joins us on the hotline. Dal, of former big leaguer, many years with the St. Louis Cardinals, lots of time in the front office as well in Major League Baseball. And Dal, I'm a big-time Cardinals fan, so my son Jeff has been working to get former Cardinals on the show here the past couple of weeks. Welcome in. Good to have you on.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be with you folks.
So I became a Cardinals fan in 1963. You'd already broken in with them a season earlier, so you got to spend some time on the team with Stan Musial. So what was that like?
Well, that was like most young boys in that time in the St. Louis area. Stan was my idol. Everybody wanted to have that stance when he was trying to hit, and everybody wanted to be Stan Musial, and I was no exception. I grew up in a small town across the river from St. Louis, about 15 minutes from the old Sportsman's Park. So I was also a Cardinal fan from day one, and Stan was my idol and my hero.
Was there ever any doubt, Dal, that you would end up with the Cardinals? I know back then it was kind of a regional thing. You'd kind of get seen and found by guys near you. Was it always going to be the Cardinals for you, or the other teams come calling? How did you end up in St. Louis with the Cardinals?
Well, I'd like to say I was highly scouted and highly sought after, but I'd be lying to you. I was just finished my senior year out at Washington University. I went there before I started playing baseball. And my coach asked me, he knew I wanted to play professional baseball. Herb Utz was his name. And I said, I'd like to play, but I don't have too many people knocking on the door. And he said, well, the Cardinals have a tryout camp at Sportsman's Park here in a few days. If you want to go to that, I'll call and see if I can get you invited to that. Well, Mr. Utz, the coach, called the Cardinals, got me invited to the tryout camp. I went down to the tryout camp. It was a 2-day camp. The first day we played games like you always do, and I did all right. And they invited me back for the second day. And when I got to the ballpark the next day, I was all dressed and ready to go out and do whatever they wanted me to do. And they said, we had a guy up in Winnipeg that broke his arm. We need a shortstop to go up there right now. And they said, can you go home and pack your suits and go on up to Winnipeg? I said, I don't have to pack my suit. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a suit. So I will, I'll head to the airport whenever you want me to. So they said, let's go, and handed me an airline ticket. I went home, told my wife and my mom and my dad. I said, I'm going to Winnipeg. I'll let you know when I get up there, and you can come join me. Talking to my wife, and so I went to Winnipeg and played baseball in the Class C league. It was the Northern League at the time, and got very, very fortunate. Played there and played in a few other places in the minor leagues, and somehow or other ended up with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, Dal, I got to ask you because I'm Canadian. So how did you enjoy Winnipeg?
Loved it. What a great city. It was a little cold up there still in in June. That was the only downside to it, but it warmed up in the summer up there. And no, I liked Winnipeg a lot. Matter of fact, my wife was a Canadian girl born in Saskatchewan and moved down to the States when her dad was a bricklayer and moved down to the States to pursue a job. And I met her in high school, and we ended up getting married. And so she joined me in Winnipeg shortly thereafter.
Dal Maxvill, our guest, former St. Louis Cardinal, a part of a lot of winning teams in St. Louis, and then also as a front office person with the Oakland Athletics, also a player. So I got to ask you about my formative years were the 60s, especially those years where the Cardinals were winning in 67 and 68. Just such a star-studded team with Gibson and Brock and Flood and McCarver and all the guys you played with. How much does that still stick with you today, and the legacies of those great Cardinals players?
Well, I've had a chance to think about that a lot recently with so many of the fellows that you just mentioned passing away. I was saddened when Gibby and Brock died here several years, 3 years, 4 years ago, and then McCarver and Shannon dying here within the last year. And Flood had died earlier in the 90s there, and as had Roger Maris. Roger died. Roger was part of those clubs, as a big part of those clubs in 67, 68, as you know. And so I look at that lineup we had, and it's just myself, Julian Javier, and Orlando Cepeda are still upright and walking, and I certainly miss all those fellows. They were real fine players, very professional bunch, knew their jobs and did their jobs every day, and it showed on the field because we were very successful, as you mentioned before, winning pennants and World Series there in the 60s.
You also built a couple teams as general manager that went to the World Series. I'm curious, generally, what was that like to go along with Whitey Herzog and his vision for the team, and what was your relationship like with Whitey?
Oh, Whitey was a good guy. I haven't seen him lately. I know he's had a few physical problems, but Whitey and I got along real well. He was a very good manager, a good guy, a lot of fun to be around. And, when it got to be time to play baseball, he only had one rule, be on time. He told the players, be on time, don't be late. And nobody was late, believe me, or they would have caught it big time from Whitey. And, but yeah, he's a good manager, a good fella. I haven't talked to him in some time now because of his physical problems, but he's a good guy.
Former Cardinal Dal Maxvill, our guest. So, yeah, I love those 60s teams. I may have loved the 80s teams just as much or more because of the way they played Whitey ball. Could a team play like that in today's game, Dal, and succeed?
Oh, well, yeah. If you have to have some guys that can run pretty good. Whitey ball was actually what happened with the Cardinals back in the 40s. When they call them the St. Louis Swifties back then, when the Cardinals were winning pennants back in the 40s with Stan and Red and Whitey Kurowski and that whole bunch. And they were all very aggressive on the bases, and that's where Whitey ball originated, and Whitey just kept it going there in the 80s, and we were very successful for several years there, winning some pennants and World Series.
Before we let you go, I have to ask you about Bob Gibson, because he made such an impression on me. He's my favorite all-time athlete. I adored him and the way he competed. What was it like to play shortstop behind him?
Well, it was, besides it being fun, it was kind of easy, to be honest with you, because he struck out so many guys. You didn't worry about too many balls being hit to you. He struck out 9, 10, 11 guys a game. Sometimes, even in a World Series, struck out 17. So that was only 10 more outs you had to get somehow out there. And, Gibby was a very aggressive guy. He was 100% out on the mound, gave it everything he had, every pitch, and expected everybody else to do that too. And we did, because if somebody let up or didn't appear to be giving it their best shot, they were going to hear about it from not only Gibby but everybody else on the ball club. We had real good bunch then that just as I said before, very professional and played the game the way it was supposed to be played, hustled all the time, and we had a great deal of success. But yeah, Gibby, he was a beauty. I did enjoy playing behind him because he, if a guy got a hit off him or swung real hard and missed a pitch or something, and Gibby didn't like the way he took a whack at a pitch, he would he'd knock the guy on his rear end with the next pitch. It was kind of fun to watch that. I knew most of the time when he was going to deck somebody, and it was always kind of fun to watch a guy try to get out of the way of a baseball when, he's up there trying to hit the ball, and I knew there was no way he was going to hit it because it was going to be at him. And but it was fun. Good bunch, good teams. And I tell you what, I was lucky enough to end up going to the Oakland A's, and I spent the better part of 4 seasons with them and was with several World Series teams with them. And 72, 74, 73, and 75, I was out there with them. And but I tell you, they had an awfully good ball club too, and I would have loved to have seen one of those clubs in those years when they were so good playing the Cardinal team of the 60s when we were also very good. That would have been a heck of a World Series.
That would have been fun.
Those two clubs were pretty good players.
So, Dal, real quick, just take us into what it was like to be a shortstop in that era. Obviously, it's been an important position for the entirety of the history of baseball, but you really had to flash some leather. You really had to be a great glove guy to play shortstop when you did, right?
Well, the game's changed, as you probably have. That's why you asked the question, of course, because, back then, the shortstop, second baseman were smaller and good fielders. They didn't care a whole lot about how much guys hit at shortstop back then. They just wanted them to make sure when a pitcher was able to get a ground ball hit to the infield or short or second base, that turned out to be an out. And but I tell you now, it's a little different. The guys have all gotten so big. Right now you got guys that are 6'3", 6'4". I think there's even one 6'7" shortstop somewhere, 6'7" shortstop, and I assume he's a very fine player. He's in the big leagues, and but I just wonder how easy it is for a guy 6'7" to cover some ground. You know what I'm saying, and have the agility that's necessary to play the position. But as I said, the game's changed. Back when I was playing, I think the average height was probably 6'1", and now I'm sure the average height in the major leagues is somewhere around 6'4", 6'5". All the pitchers are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and it's a different game that way. Still a great game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downing the players of today or the way the game's being played, but bottom line, it's very much different than it was when I was out there trying to compete.
Well, Dal, it's been a great pleasure. We appreciate you coming on. I will tell you that I always loved it when they hit the ball to you because I knew you would handle it and get an out. So thank you for your incredible fielding for the Cardinals. You saved me a lot of heartache.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you, and I enjoyed talking with you.
Take care.
You folks have a good day.
Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
In a world of endless notifications, there could be an important one you're missing. Your kidneys may be signaling an SOS. With high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes, your kidneys could be warning you of early signs of damage, which may put you at higher risk for events like heart attack or stroke. But there's a simple test that can help spot a hidden signal. Ask your doctor about a urine test called UACR to help detect kidney disease and heart risk early. To learn more, visit detectthesos.com today.
There's nothing like gaining a fresh perspective from experts who've seen it all and have the wisdom to prove it. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. With plans starting at $10 a month, billed annually, you get unlimited access to over 200 plus classes taught by the world's best business leaders, writers, chefs, and more. With Masterclass, you get thousands of bite-sized lessons across 13 categories that can fit into even the busiest of schedules. And the classes really make a difference. 3 in 4 surveyed members feel inspired every time they watch Masterclass. And 83% of surveyed members have applied something they've learned from Masterclass to their lives. Masterclass always has great offers during the holidays, sometimes up to as much as 50% off. Head over to masterclass.com/audio for the current offer. That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/audio. masterclass.com/audio. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This November, action is free on Pluto TV. Go on the run with Jack Reacher.
Every suspect was a train killer.
Then buckle up for Drive, World War Z.
Every human being we save is one less to fight.
And Charlie's Angels.
Damn, I hate to fly.
Launch into sci-fi adventure with The Fifth Element and laugh through the mayhem in Tropic Thunder.
What is going on here?
All the thrills, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.